I have no idea what the movie is.
Yeah, it's a movie. It's a good movie at that as well.
I thought it was a Justin Bieber song. Baby, 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 oh. See,
that helps.
Well, that could have worked.
It could have worked.
Speaking of babies, it's time for some parenting advice right now from our parenting coach, Laura Markovitz. And we're talking about losing your temper with your child. And when that happens, is that okay? Is it normal? How do you control that so that it works out best and that a lesson is learned at the end of the day?
That's the thing. Can I first and foremost say that I think it's okay to lose it as a parent?
Yeah.
It's okay? Or is it? I don't know now. I'm confused. Laura's here. She looks very judgmental at this.
I cannot believe you've ever lost it with your children.
I'm just kidding, Laura. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. What does it mean for parents to kind of lose it?
Yeah, so I mean, as you are both saying, it's absolutely normal. None of us can maintain that superhuman, robotic, absolutely 24/7 Zen stance when we've asked our children for the 15th time to go and brush their teeth. So obviously there are things that are going to tip us over the edge. But losing our temper and really losing it with our kids, I think really means when we've lost it, when we've lost our sense of being an adult and when we've actually joined our child as the tantruming child in the scenario. And then we haven't really got control. So it's absolutely normal that it happens. And it's a good sense of when we feel it. We often get that sense of feeling, sure, that left me not feeling great. I didn't like how that felt. So yes, absolutely normal, and it does happen.
Okay, so shortly we'll talk about what the correct way of dealing with it when it does happen. But my biggest question is, why don't children listen? When you say it the first time...
Let's look at the keyword there, children.
Yeah, but okay, but now I'm thinking they have the least amount of things to worry about, right? All you got to do is play, eat, sleep, poo, shower. Well, just do it. I'm giving you the manual. Here it is. I'm telling you what to do. Why don't they listen?
So, and I mean, $1 million question, wouldn't it be lovely to have them absolutely cooperative? But the thing is, they're learning. And as you're saying, they're kids. So they've got to learn. They've got to actually, as awful as it is when we're in the thick of it, they've got to be pushing our buttons and learning where they begin and where they end. So they need a healthy sense of empathy, that we can support them, that we can know that they're kids, but then a really good sense of boundaries
so
as well.
they are testing you.
Well, we need to...
Yeah, especially now with my boy that's now 6. He just turned 6. Now he's really testing me, you know. It's ridiculous. But okay, let's talk about that. What's the correct way of dealing with things when you actually do lose your temper?
So the good news is about losing our temper is that there's an incredible opportunity for reparative, restorative learning growth that can come in the aftermath of us losing our tempers. So really, if we are able to acknowledge it, go, sure, this morning I really lost it. I really screamed like that, and I don't like screaming like that.
Yeah.
We can think about the timing of it. So sometimes we need a little bit of distance from our frustration and our anger or our disappointment with our kids that they aren't those cooperative beings that we want them to be. So we need a bit of distance from the time. And it could even be a week later when I'm doing something that I go, wow, remember last week when I really lost it? I haven't been feeling comfortable with that. And I really wanted to chat to you about it. And then also saying sorry.
Yeah.
You know, when we are able to actually own up to our role in what went wrong. So when I'm saying sorry, I'm not saying sorry for absolutely everything that went pear-shaped and the fact that you didn't listen to me.
Yes.
But I am acknowledging and apologizing in an authentic way for my role in what went wrong and how I would like to next time better manage myself in that situation.
Sure. Is it okay to just pretend it never happened? Just to
So, and a great question, because I think sometimes we would prefer to pretend it never
just
happened.
skip by it.
Because we always want our parents,
absolutely, I want to forget that happened, carry on with the day, and let's just... But when we do that, and we do that sort of sweep under the carpet move, we lose an opportunity to actually go, what went on there, and how can we do it differently? And also, we give our children that sense of needing to repress things, not process things, not get a sense of what happened. So the growth of things is completely lost.
And also maybe showing your kid that, well, if you don't come and apologize and you stay and you pretend it never happened, then that type of behavior for you as a parent is okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I guess, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Righto.
So we'll come back to this. I'm still working on my set of rules of how to deal with things. At this moment, I'm stuck on shut your face. But which isn't working
working?
yet.
How's that
No,
going
working,
for
no.
you?
it's not working because he doesn't understand words. We'll be back again with Laura Markovitz very shortly, our parenting coach.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso on SABC3. It is a Wednesday morning. Thanks for starting the day off with us as we dive right back into parenting advice with our parenting coach, Laura Markovitz. And we're talking about you losing your temper as a parent. Earlier on,
Yes.
Laura did say it is completely acceptable.
Yeah,
it's
it
normal.
happens.
It happens, but there are certain ways of dealing with it.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. So I think, Laura, thank you very much once again. Welcome back. We spoke about the fact that losing it, it's a reality. It happens, and it's okay for it to happen as well, but it's how you deal with it, like Kat said. So let's say that you, as a parent, you did lose it. You know, you flipped out a little bit. What is important to remember afterwards, the discussions that needs to take place?
Yeah.
So as I was saying earlier, it's so important to acknowledge what we've done, to think about the timing of it. It's not a lost cause if we haven't done it. To remember to show up and apologize, because what we're actually doing is we're role modeling for our kids how to behave when we can't manage our emotions. And it's such an important reality to learn that it's not necessarily who started in life. It's actually more about who was able to manage their reactions better. That can be an incredible lesson for us. So it's so important to go back and think about what went wrong, why it went wrong, and what we could do differently next time.
Yeah, but
Because there will be a next time.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I now need the talk.
Yeah.
I need the talk now. How mature a conversation should you be having at what kind of age? And I mean, when kids are throwing the flu, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say, in the mall. That happens at an early age. How mature a conversation should you be having at that time, and what does it look like? What does it
So
sound
of
like?
course it does depend on the age of the child, and we've got to tailor our language and what we're talking to them. But from very little, you know, I'm talking about even a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
If I'm telling them the story afterwards, I'm able to say, Mommy got so cross earlier, or you were feeling very angry, you got so frustrated, that we're actually using words, emotional words, so that they are learning from a very early age what the feelings are, how to manage them. When we've tipped over the edge, when it's become a tsunami rather than a bit of a ripple on the ocean, then it's really important that we're doing that varying from really early on.
And that's a good question, because I mean, your temper as a parent, I mean, you lose it for different reasons and different stages as well of a baby's life or a child's life, from newborn to the crying and the not being quiet, and it hits you. But I mean, it's evolving, and it's how you deal with it going forward. But I want to ask you this, because in every family, every parent, and you know, they have their own way of parenting and doing things. But what if you find yourself as a parent in a situation like, listen, I am losing it way too much. You know, it's just too much for my liking. How do you address that within yourself, I guess?
And again, it's a really important question, because as much as we are normalizing the fact that we all lose it sometimes, we have to think, well, when is it too severe? When have we flipped over the edge? When are we shaming? When are we physically harming our children, embarrassing them, being way too punitive? So what we're actually doing when we lose it, and then the how much. So it was really important if it is happening too much, and you can often feel it, and you can see in the reactions our kids are giving us as well, then absolutely it is important to think about, how can I learn to manage this better? And that can mean an array of things for different people. You know, it might mean doing a meditation course. It might mean just learning to breathe in the moment. It might mean thinking about how I transition from work to home, so that I've got a little bit of breathing space, so that I'm not at the end of my tether when I've got those different triggers depending on the age of my kids.
I think in my household it works, because my wife, you know, we try and work as this team, and you know, a lot of times she would go like, you know what, babe, that was a little bit hectic, you know, and then I would realize like, wow, okay, yeah, you're right. And then you can address it, and vice versa, you know, we can work like that.
I was wondering, in terms of trying to manage your own emotional expectations, if there is such a thing, is there value in having conversations with your children in the quiet moments, when nothing has happened, when they haven't done anything to tee you off, but you want to have a conversation with them and you talk about something like, oh, do you see what that child just did over there? Behaviorally, that is not acceptable in our household because of this and this reason, and this is what I want you to learn from that. Is there value in that?
Best thing that we can do, because well done. Excellent. Gold star for you today.
Wait.
Because,
Here we go, dude. You can take this guy. That's fine. Well done.
because those are the moments, you know, when we're in the thick of it and things are so heightened and we're all losing the plot, it's very hard to get perspective. But in those quieter moments and after the fact, it is so useful to think about things and think about our role, tell the story of what happened for all of us in that. So you weren't listening, I lost the plot, this is what happened, next time what could we do differently? So important,
And
gold star.
It all comes down to conversation.
Thank you, Phoenix. I wouldn't have been able to do this without you. Thank you.
That's your parenting on your Feel Good Breakfast Show this morning. It's okay as a parent to lose it, but remember, it's how you deal with it.